SpaceX is developing the vehicle to transport people and cargo to the moon and Mars, as well as to perform a variety of other spaceflight tasks, such as deploying the next generation Starlink internet satellites. Starship will be the most massive and powerful space transportation system ever created. Welcome to First Class Tech, and in this video, we'll see how SpaceX's Starship will deploy next-gen Starlink satellites. Starlink spacecraft are currently launched by SpaceX's workhorse Falcon 9 rocket. However, Starlink 2.0 satellites will be much more capable and larger, weighing in at about 1.25 tons here on Earth, compared to about 660 pounds for current Starlink craft. Musk also stated that Starlink version 2.0 satellites will be almost an order of magnitude more capable than Starlink 1. He refused to call that capability bandwidth or throughput the traditional terms for describing the total performance of a communication satellite. But Starlink version 1 satellites are thought to have a total bandwidth of 18 gigabits per second. As of now, it's unclear whether Starlink version 1.5, a significant upgrade, added more bandwidth, or if Musk was referring to the most recent Starlink version 1.x iteration. Even if he was comparing version 2.0 to the first version 1 satellites, each Starlink version 2 satellite could add 140 to 160 gigabytes to the 30,000 satellite constellation. So far, the vast majority of Starlink satellites have been placed in orbits, with altitudes ranging from 540 to 550 kilometers and an inclination of 53 degrees. This decision was not made at random. An inclination of 53 degrees covers the majority of the world's population, while the relatively low altitude aids in the resolution of two problems. To begin with, it significantly reduces signal delay to the end user. Second, the low orbit serves as a natural defense mechanism. Even if it fails, the Starlink satellite will fall out of orbit and burn up in the Earth's atmosphere in a few years, lowering the chances of colliding with other spacecraft. The exact cost of producing one Starlink satellite is unknown, but some estimates place it between $200,000 and $500,000 per unit. This price is revolutionary by aerospace industry standards. Starlink was the first truly serial satellite to be manufactured on a large scale in factories. Prior to that, spacecraft manufacturing was primarily done by hand on individual projects, which contributed significantly to their high cost. However, SpaceX has forever changed the game by demonstrating that satellite production can be mass-produced. In the early 20th century, Henry Ford did something similar by introducing the conveyor belt into factories. The SpaceX founder and CEO has released a new animation that shows how the $216 million Ultra Super Heavy rocket could spit out Starlink satellites in space, much like a Pez-Dispenser. This week, Musk shared an animation of Starship in action on Twitter and joked that SpaceX should make an actual Starship model that dispenses Pez for our merch store. Starship is SpaceX's bullet-shaped stainless steel reusable rocket, which is designed to transport both crew and cargo to the moon and eventually Mars. Starship will be the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever developed, capable of carrying more than 100 metric tons to Earth orbit, SpaceX explained. Now, a new animation shown at SpaceX's all-hands meeting on June 5 and shared on Twitter by Musk suggests that SpaceX intends to use Starship to deploy its next-generation Starlink satellites. The animation depicts Starship in orbit above Earth, with Starlink satellites stacked inside like candy in a Pez-Dispenser. The satellites are spat out through a narrow slit in the side of the rocket while still folded flat. Starlink is a network of over 2,000 satellites in low Earth orbit that beam internet connections to dishes all over the world. According to Musk's slide deck, 2.5 years after operational satellite launches began, SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet constellation has secured nearly 500,000 customers in 32 countries. Within the next few months, SpaceX will most likely own and operate half of all active satellites. Within the last few months, SpaceX has also delivered over 15,000 Starlink dishes to war-torn Ukraine and announced its first airline connectivity partnerships. While the satellites are currently launched by SpaceX's Falcon 9 rockets, Musk recently explained how the next generation of satellites, known as Starlink version 2, will be launched by Starship. The Falcon 9 lacks both volume and mass-to-orbit capability for Starlink 2. Even if you shrink the Starlink 2, the total mass of the Falcon is insufficient to do Starlink 2. Starlink version 2 satellites are approximately 4 times the mass of current Starlink satellites, weighing in at 2,760 pounds each. By the way, if you're watching us for the first time, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can enjoy our future videos while getting updated. Getting back to the topic. The Raptor engine, which powers the Starship launch system, is a reusable methalock stage combustion engine. Raptor engines first flew on the Starship prototype rockets in July 2019, becoming the first full-flow stage combustion rocket engine to do so. However, before it can begin launching these next-generation satellites, Starship must first complete its first orbital flight. SpaceX had planned to launch Starship into orbit in January 2022, but was forced to postpone the launch due to an environmental assessment of the Boca Chica launch site conducted by the Federal Aviation Administration. Musk later claimed that a May launch was possible, though this window has now passed. To date, the Starship rocket series has seen 9 test flights, with some resulting in successful short-distance hops and others resulting in explosions or crash landings. The most recent experimental launch, on May 5, 2021, involved the Starship SN-15 prototype. The craft successfully completed a 33,000-foot high altitude flight test into low-lying clouds, including a successful ascent, engine cutoffs, a flip maneuver, flap control, and a soft touchdown. While Starship has yet to reach orbit, SpaceX already has paying customers on board the rocket for moon missions. In 2023, Japanese entrepreneur Yusuke Maezawa and the crew of Dear Moon will become the first civilian passengers on a lunar Starship mission, complete with a flyby of the moon. This flight is an important step toward allowing people who want to travel to space to do so. Since its inception, SpaceX has faced criticism for its mega constellation of satellites, primarily from astronomers concerned about the impact the constellations of bright objects in low orbit have in observations of the night sky. NASA has also expressed reservations about SpaceX's ambitious plan to launch 30,000 satellites as part of the second generation of its orbital internet service. NASA warned that peppering orbit with so many satellites can impact science and human spaceflight missions, leading to a significant increase in collisions. SpaceX previously had authorization for about 12,000 satellites and has so far launched 2,000, but wants to increase the number to improve coverage. According to Reuters, NASA wants to ensure that the plan for the Starship rocket launch does not jeopardize important property. Officials have informed SpaceX that an explosion at the launch site could jeopardize NASA's ability to launch US astronauts to the International Space Station. Outside of normal working hours, NASA did not respond immediately to insiders' requests for comment. According to reports, SpaceX is considering launching US astronauts from a different site in Florida. However, getting agency approval could take months, potentially leading to a delayed launch, according to the news agency. The Starship rocket from SpaceX is a fully reusable rocket capable of transporting groups of people into space. The FAA began its review in July 2020 with a goal of completing it by December 2021. The review has since been delayed several times. Originally, Elon Musk intended to launch the Starship rocket into orbit for the first time in early 2022. It is worth noting that a Cooper system being developed by Amazon could be a more dangerous competitor to Starlink. It is planned to build a total of 3,226 devices. Amazon recently signed a deal of the century, ordering 83 rockets from the launchers ULA, Arianespace, and Blue Origin. At the same time, because the Cooper intends to use launch systems that have not yet been put into service, SpaceX will have to wait at least a few years. We can also mention the Galaxy Space Project, which was created by the Chinese company. They intend to launch a total of 12,992 satellites. However, given the political realities, its commercial prospects in the West are extremely bleak. This system is much more likely to become a competent of China's Great Firewall. As a result, Starlink currently has no real competitors who can threaten its position. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. What do you think about the next-gen Starlink? Let us know in the comments. Like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you